Trapmore gang, it has been literally years, okay, 8 years at this point, since YNW Melly's career was cut short and he was accused of murdering 2 of his friends. Now, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting for a new trial date. They had a trial that ultimately was a mistrial. It didn't work out. We thought we were going to get maybe some justice, maybe a resolution. I don't know what we thought was going to happen, but it didn't end up happening. But now they're saying that YNW Melly's trial is about to start this month in January 2026. But lo and behold, it's not even the double murder trial we were expecting. He is actually now facing a 2023 witness tampering charges because the authorities think that he was actually messing around with the witnesses that were involved in the double murder trial, and they're now trying him on witness tampering charges before he's even going to have his day in court for the double murder. And they're saying that might not be until 2027. I can't even believe that it's 2026. This is insane. Okay, so I'm going to break it all down to you. This is some of the reporting from 2 years ago about when he actually got slapped with these witness tampering charges. And it's very, very serious. Back in 2023, they said that he was moving crazy with the witnesses.
These charges are being added on to the ones these 3 men were already facing. And investigators say they worked together to dissuade at least 1 witness from cooperating.
Jamal Demons.
Rapper YNW Melly facing even more trouble this week, now accused of tampering with a witness in his double murder case. Melly, whose real name is Jamel Demons, is already in custody, but new allegations say he developed a, quote, sophisticated system to communicate with individuals outside of the Broward County Jail, including his co-defendant, Cortland Henry.
Cortland Henry, come on up.
Cortland Henry. According to court documents, Melly, who does not get phone privileges while in custody, recruited another inmate named Terrence Mathis to help him talk to Henry. They also say Henry, who is on house arrest waiting for his own murder trial, allegedly delivered messages for Melly more than 100 times in the last year. Investigators say Demons would write notes and have them passed to Mathis, who would then call Henry and pass along Melly's instructions. During one of those calls, a detective heard Mathis giving directions to Henry to keep Rihanna away from court and said Henry was clearly uncomfortable with getting those directions on a recorded call. Rihanna, investigators say, is a code name for Melly's former girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton, who has not been cooperative with the state's investigation so far. This charge they are now...
So it's very serious, right? They're saying that Melly's ex-girlfriend was a problem. They were trying to keep her away from the courtroom. They were saying Bortland was involved. It is very serious. Now, interestingly enough, okay, in the state of Florida where this is all going down, tampering with a witness in a capital murder case can actually lead to severe jail time. This is no joke. So this is how it can actually go down. Basically, the penalties for tampering with a witness in Florida are very serious. Tampering with a witness, a victim, or an informant is a felony in the 3rd degree where the investigation involved the prosecution of a misdemeanor offense. A 3rd degree felony is punishable by up to 5 years in state prison and a $5,000 fine. If it's a 2nd degree felony where the investigation involved the prosecution of a 3rd degree felony, punishment for a 2nd degree felony includes up to 15 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Tampering with a witness or victim or informant is a 1st degree felony when the official investigation or proceedings affected the investigation or prosecution of a 2nd degree felony. A 1st degree felony is punishable by 30 years in prison or a $10,000 fine, and it's a 1st degree felony where what was affected was a 1st degree felony. This is murder. This is the most serious charge that you can possibly have, okay? He could get life in prison just for tampering with the witness on this 1st degree serious double murder charges, okay? The most serious level of tampering is where a witness tampered with the investigation of a prosecution of a capital felony. He could be facing life, okay? He could be facing life. Now, what's interesting, this is actually one of the charges that his co-defendant, YNW Bortland, actually took a plea for 10 years on earlier this year. This went over a lot of people's head. YNW Melly's co-defendant takes a plea deal to avoid trial. And a lot of people felt like, oh, hey, this is where a lot of people are saying he's telling, a lot of people are saying he's in trouble, all right? But this is basically, they wrapped him up with a witness tampering and they dropped 2 1st-degree murder charges, and he got 10 years in prison and 6 years probation, okay? YNW Bortland struck a deal with prosecutors in his double murder case 1 day before the trial was set to begin. Cortland Henry pled no contest to 4 lesser charges, including accessory after the fact and witness tampering. So they got him on a guilty plea on the witness tampering. So Melly going not guilty on the witness tampering, not such a good idea. He had his 2 first-degree murder charges dropped, and he was sentenced to 10 years in prison plus 6 years probation. Far lighter outcome. His attorney stressed the agreement doesn't require him to testify against Melly, whose murder trial has been delayed till 2027. But it is a bad look, because now they're going to take Melly to trial for this, and they're going to say, well, your accessory, the guy that was on the phone, uncomfortable that you were even talking to him about this shit, he pled guilty. This is very, very fucked up. So let's take ourselves all the way back to when this double murder that led him to this mess actually happened. October the 26th, 2018. And for anybody that's new to this case, okay, there was surveillance footage captured in 2018 of Melly leaving the studio with his 3 friends, Sack Chaser, Juvie, and Bortlam. You see Melly's the guy in the white shirt, okay. Basically, they all got in the car. And 2 people didn't make it. So they all got in the car, all right, and they ended up having a little issue. They ended up having a little falling out. They ended up having a problem, and 2 people in that car ended up deceased. Melly somehow ends up at Fredo Bang's house. There's reports that he was picked up by Fredo Bang, and later that morning, all right, this is in the early hours of the 26th of October 2018, 2:19 a.m., they got in the car. Later that morning, that is when Bortland arrives at the hospital with a car that's riddled with bullets and the 2 friends, Juvie and Sack Chaser, deceased in the back. And he claimed, we were hit by a drive-by. So this is the footage of him arriving back to the hospital. Now it is blurred, so you can't actually see it, but you can kind of see the outline of the body being, you know, you can see the movement of what happened as people were taken into the hospital, basically. So this was presented in court some time ago, okay, but that didn't end up leading to a real conclusion of the trial. Now, the trial itself, the original trial, it featured some pretty damning forensic evidence that basically suggests that Melly had actually switched seats and the fatal shots came from the rear passenger seat of the car.
Because the projectile entered in right below the skull, the blowback ended up coming in the direction of, as I was speaking earlier about the hose, in the direction that it came from. And you will get that with a very close shot. That blowback then proceeded after the shot. It went up, it hit this headliner and continued and falling into the back seat.
And
So this was just an absolute disaster, all right? There's a lot of rumors about why they might have fallen out, why Melly might have opened fire from inside of the car, allegedly, okay? And one of the most infamous pieces of evidence that was circulating during the trial, okay, was a text from Melly where he apparently said, "Shush, I did that," although the evidence, although the defense basically argued that the phone was shared, someone else said it, him saying, "I did that, shush." On the final day of the state's case, they finally introduced the "I did that" shush text that they told the jury about in their opening statement. Prosecutors say this is Melly confessing to the killings, all right? And they've really got a mistrial with all of that, all right? After 3 days of deliberation, the jury was deadlocked with a 9-3 vote, okay? And basically, Melly just didn't get an outcome of all these. It's been 8 years now since the murder took place, or, you know, it will be the 8th year since that year. As of yesterday, okay, January the 5th, 2026, Melly would return to a Broward County courtroom yesterday for a motion hearing alongside his new attorney, the legendary and expensive Drew Findling. And they filed several motions and scheduled the next court dates. I guess he managed to find time for this in between Lil Durk's case.
Rapper YNW Melly wants some evidence thrown out of court before his upcoming tampering with a witness trial. Now, these charges stem from his double murder case, which is still moving through the court system.
NBC6's Marissa Bag is at the courthouse with what motions the judge granted.
Jawan and Jackie, really attorneys spent the day today jockeying for what they think should or should not be included in this trial, which starts in just 2 weeks. Wearing a blue suit, shaking hands, still handcuffed with his new attorneys, rapper YNW Melly walked into a Broward County courtroom Monday. His real name is Jamel Demons. The 26-year-old is charged with tampering with a witness, accused of convincing a key witness in his first double murder trial not to take the stand back in 2023. That trial ended in a mistrial. Demons is charged with shooting and killing 2 longtime friends and then trying to make it look like a drive-by shooting in 2018. While in custody at the Broward County Jail, state prosecutors allege Demons passed a note to a fellow inmate who made a phone call for him to pressure the witness.
The defendant is holding what appears to be a kite, which is a letter to pass the jail, goes under the door, another inmate takes it, passes it through the wall, another inmate grabs it on the other side of the wall and presents it to Mr. Mathis. He then walks over to the phone and makes a call for Henry.
Demons' attorneys filed a motion asking that the written statements and phone calls from jail not be allowed in trial, claiming they were hearsay. But the state clapped back that it was crucial evidence in their case.
Defendant's motion to bifurcate gang enhancement contained in count 1, count 3, and count 4.
All sides agreed to separate a gang enhancement charge from the tampering trial.
Number 8, the fact that Mr. Demons is charged with a capital felony.
The judge denied a defense request that Demons' 2 murder charges not be shared with the jury. So this tampering with a witness trial is completely separate from Demons' double murder retrial, which is scheduled for 1 year from now. The judge did defer several of the motions today, which will have to be hashed out once the trial starts in court if they're brought up through objections. We're live in Fort Lauderdale. Marissa Begg, NBC 6 News.
So it's pretty serious, right? And interestingly, some of the evidence that was used in court previously has been thrown out, and it just so happened to have been several things related to my guy, Big 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me, and he broke it down in a video about the situation.
Called that out as bullshit a long time ago, but today in court, all of this got officially smacked down.
Okay, so as to, this is the defense amended motion in the paragraph number 1, the YouTube videos by 1090 Jake. You don't state, you don't
1090 Jake, that's me.
want to use any of
1090 Jake's crazy.
those unless the defense makes it relevant.
Now, you already said the YouTube videos by 1090 Jake, you don't want to use any of those, and the defense makes it relevant. We're going to rewind.
It's amended motion in the paragraph number 1, the YouTube videos by 1090 Jake. You don't state, you don't want to use any of those unless the defense makes it relevant. So. Okay, so that one is granted then with that understanding.
So you see how Drew just smacked that out? Just X that out right there. As soon as the judge granted it, he said, just bink, bink. They just clapped that, right? And the thing is this, the judge said the videos by 1090 Jake, they weren't even by me. They were interviews, right? So if they actually wanted to bring that shit and get, you know, whatever type of evidence, whatever, they would have had to contact No Jumper and Vlad TV. I don't have copies of that. That wasn't recorded by me. These were just interviews that were conducted with me. But I'm gonna show y'all the paperwork on that. So now this is the actual motion to prohibit the introduction of out-of-court statements and irrelevant evidence. Facts. Melly is charged with tampering with a witness, solicitation to tamper with a witness, conspiracy to tamper with a witness, and directing the activities of a criminal gang, right? Very next page. The state should be prohibited from introducing the following: the YouTube videos of 1090 Jake. 1090 Jake is apparently a YouTuber who touts his membership and knowledge of a gang called the Bloods. 1090 Jake describes Bloods criminal gang activity. Demons was not in the video, nor did he make any statements during the videos. The videos do not prove any material fact in this case. Any statements by 1090 Jake would be hearsay, would violate Demons' right to confront witnesses, would be prejudicial, and would have no probative value in this case, right? So, I mean, I don't really give a fuck how they make me sound, because this was written by his lawyer to just get this shit smacked. And from the very beginning, I've been Team Melly in this entire case. You know what I'm saying?
But look, Jake has always been a supporter of Melly. He, you know, they basically dragged him into this for ridiculous reasons. I mean, there was at one point they were talking about he was the treasurer of the Bloods in Florida. It was a bunch of nonsense, right? But I feel like they were really just throwing anything at the wall to see if it would stick. And, you know, it's great news, really, that that's not going to be included. Now, interestingly, okay, Redditors over on the YNW Melly subreddit, they would react to this hearing. We've already kind of seen what went down and how it went down, and Drew Findling was Xing things out. Quite performative of Drew Findling, if you ask me, to be honest. I'm still on the fence about this guy. I don't know if I like this guy. People talk about, I don't even know if I want to say it, but I don't know. Part of me just feels like, is Drew Findling just a clout chaser, and he's using these guys' cases and their pain to basically raise his profile as a lawyer, does he actually have a strategy? Like, if we see YNW Melly and Lil Durk get absolutely cooked, I think people should take a close look at Drew Findling and say, what was he actually doing with these guys other than lining his own pockets and raising his profile? But if he gets them off, more power to him, man. He's the man. He's Teflon, right? People are saying these years behind bars have let Melly know this is not a joke. People are saying bro probably doesn't even remember what it's felt like being free. Most people feel like time flew since COVID. Imagine being locked up 2 years before COVID even happened. He went through that whole era. It's crazy. Every time I think how long he's been locked up, his buddy King Von was still alive. Like you said, COVID hadn't even hit. He should have been enjoying his success. People saying, do you not keep up with what's going on? It's not uncommon for an MF to be on video on multiple hits and still be walking around, joking on live and living the dream. These dudes don't live in the same world as us, bro. All right, some people saying, I know Drew making crazy money, but dealing with this case and Dirk's case at the same time cross-country has to be stressful. A lot of people have been saying, does he even have time for this? Is he really, is it even possible for him to be focused on both of these cases, let alone the other shit that he's got on his billion-dollar law company that we don't even hear about because they're not famous rappers? No doubt he's representing other people. He looks tired. He looks tired. Honestly, he looks tired as hell. Look at his eyes. He looks awful. Like, has he really got this fight in him? I don't know, right? I don't know. I know Vlad's a big fan of Drew Findling, but I'm honestly like, I don't know if I believe in Drew Findling like other people do, but maybe he's got it, man. Let's see how it all works out. I don't have a crystal ball. People are saying he didn't even do anything at today's hearing. You know, he just X things out, performative, making it look like he's doing shit, making sure that check lands. But yeah, people saying, I mean, dealing with it in general, not just this hearing, they have more stuff to do behind the scenes. I know his firm handling them both as a whole, but he still got to know both cases well. Here you go. The big name lawyers are just faces. It's the entire team behind them doing the real work. People saying just faces is incredibly dismissive and wrong when it comes to the guy representing your innocence in front of the judge and jury. People saying 100% he's not a face, but he's an integral part of the team and leader and the brain of the operation. But yes, it's not like he's doing everything with the money that both Melly and Dirk's cases are putting in his pockets. Plus the publicity of both him and his team. They're going to be going super hard on these cases with tons of resources poured in. Money and man hours. Honestly, I'd love to be a fly on the wall of what they got going at his firm. If he can get both of them off, he's going to be cemented as a GOAT. Unlikely, in my opinion. These two cases give him a chance to make an absolutely massive statement about his work, and he will be the guy to go to, as if he isn't already, but these two are the big ones. I need to look into his previous work now. He was saying, you internet paralegals kill me. I'm not going to lie. If he loses both of these, no one's trying to hire Drew Findling after this, all right? It's a great look now. You picking up all the casework. I don't know. People are saying Melly looks so institutionalized, he doesn't even look like he knows what to do with human interaction. People are saying, I agree, you can tell he's not right mentally. The self-soothing is evidence of that. Plus, they took his phone calls and letters away 3 years ago. I saw paperwork that he has a pod to himself, which is crazy. All of that isolation was used to try and break him. People saying he really strong-minded for not confessing for real, but that's how you know he ain't sane for real. People saying he was sane before the tactics, but now, I don't know, he needs intense therapy. If he ever comes home, and it's sad because the state knows this, and they're still trying to kill the man, but all of that note passing and witness tampering stems from him being cut off from the world. I think that's why he filed those lawsuits, basically put Bree in a dungeon. Bro in a dungeon, I think, man. My twin looked nervous for real. He looked like a beat dog, they're saying. People saying this case is an effing joke. Makes the entire legal system genuinely look effing moronic. I'm sorry, but we all know that Melly did it. And sure, they have to prove that he did it, but like, how the fuck are we still witnessing him being stuck in the same spot? Like, literally, what's the benefit that comes from this? The justice system looks like a total effing joke. Throw him on house arrest at this point, because my God, what's the point of keeping him in prison with all that taxpayer funding shit when you can't even convict him? You're going to get a big fat downvote from me, and here's why. Melly waived his right to a speedy trial. If he wanted the speedy trial, he could have demanded a speedy trial. He said, I'm good, forget the speedy trial, because he knows he's going down. He knows ain't shit changing, he's still in jail. He might as well long it out. He might as well long out his hope, because he knows it's going left. Ain't no house arrest. The evidence is crazy, all right? Now they're doing witness tampering. He might get life on the witness tampering, okay? So it doesn't matter at this point. But, you know, people are going to say I'm hating all of this stuff, but at the end of the day, where's the other killers? It's like when people talk about OJ, we're going to find the real killers of your wife, right? Yeah, sure. You got any other theories? Any theory? Is anybody, like, in the age of self-snitching where people don't get shot without the ops claiming it immediately, no one's claimed this Melly hit. There's no one else that could have done this, right? People saying you would have been convicted already. Firing your entire legal counsel give you the right to delay to get new representation, but you can't do it over and over again. With Bortland flipping, Melly is literally fighting to not go to the chair. He's got new Florida, he's got new FL after him for this case, and it's not going to be kind to him. Basically, Yeah, basically he waived his right to a speedy trial, right? They're saying that's the lawyer that helped YB only get 11 months for a drug fraud ring, weapons charge, and his Louisiana gun charge all together at once. Melly has a chance. Good luck to bro. I'm not sure, man. People saying, can he get lessons on how to look normal in court? I don't think he looked that crazy, to be honest. That man is looking like he'll do it again. Let's see. Let's see again. Is he really looking crazy?
Contains the actual language that's in the paragraph of the information, nothing else. So there would be nothing going back to the jury regarding the counts that do not include Mr. Demons.
He does look a little bit.
The fact that Mr. Demons
He looks a bit socially awkward. I don't know if he's looking like strung out, killered out, like crazy like that. Hell, I haven't seen this before. Let's have a look at this. YNW Melly and King Von shopping together on Instagram. This is crazy.
Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah. Nah.
What a crazy time. They look like they're in Louis Vuitton.
I'm getting the goals. Come on, don't make me the goals, man. I'll get the dimes. Oh, yeah, I'm getting both on focus. Hold on. I think I should get the goals. Straight diamond. Dime. See, you ain't finna get the diamonds, and then I got the gold. Now you like, you gotta get the diamond. You keep telling me keep the gold, but I'm like, man. We can switch it like you just said, though, like what you just said. Switch the business. What? I want my shit. See, you trying to go crazy, gang. My mama gonna get on my ass like if my shit stuck in there. Mama go, boy, take them out.
Man, it's crazy. So this says it appears that Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah Hamilton will be testifying in the upcoming witness tampering
So for this one, number 10, I'm going to defer as to this. Again, I need to see the evidence as it comes out in the trial. I presume this person is going to testify. MH, I guess. You don't have to tell me today, but I assume this person is going to testify. So that may resolve a lot of these issues. But I'll defer as to.
So apparently the ex-girlfriend will be testifying. People saying it wasn't confirmed, but what was confirmed was that Cortland and Mathis will not be testifying. So, you know, that might come back to bite him in the ass. That might not be a great look, all right? People saying Dirk's being treated like Melly. I'll talk about that in another video if you guys want. But basically, okay, it is a rough day for Melly. People saying, how could it end? Saying Dirk's trial delayed. Those who thought Drew wouldn't be able to work in both cases. This is actually the footage of Bortland being arrested for the witness tampering charge back in 2023. Obviously, he ended up pleading out, but it's probably interesting for him to get the realization like, oh, shit. And he was out on bail.
Go ahead and have a seat. Sure, good team. Have a seat. Shit, great. Come on, I'll get it for you. You wait down. Huh? At least put me in some fix it. I don't have the key for this one. They do. If that was one like that, yeah. But not that one. Be honest. You want to talk to him? You want to let's talk to him? Yeah, you finna close the door because you got this car. You got to leave this stand right here with the door. Nah, no, I'm going to close it for you. I'm going to cock it down a little bit for you. But you finna have to call. People don't have to see you. Come on, man. I'm not tripping on all that. I ain't finna be sitting. I'm going to let him see if he can do that for you. I'm honest with you. But I'm going to call the window down for you. Okay. Man, all right.
This is not healthy.
I'm just talking about that. All right. How do you treat me? Good? That's good. That's good. Thank you.
It's a grim environment, man. Pray that I never get locked up in Florida, man. It's not a good look. But yeah, you know, this is, you know, Melly's in court with Drew Findling. It's just a sad state of affairs, really. All these different looks that Melly's had over the years. You know, he's been through a lot. But hey, what about the people and the families who basically suffered, allegedly, at the hands of Melly? So, look, I'll keep you guys updated on this witness tampering trial. I think once we get some more information about it, it will be quite interesting to follow along. I do think we might find out more information just about what Melly had going on behind bars. I don't think this trial is going to be as long or as complicated as the double murder trial, but they really might be trying to cook him on this one. They might give him life. They actually might give him life because he's witness tampering on a double murder. It doesn't get much worse than that. And then they might slap him with life for the witness tampering, and then they might slap him with death penalty for the double murder. It's insanity, okay? I don't know whether they still can run the death penalty, whether that was off the table previously, whether this new trial, it's all up for debate. But I'll keep you guys updated, man, when I get some more info on this information. Wishing Melly a fair day in court. I feel like that's the best I can do. It's definitely not free Melly, unfortunately. Okay, you can hate on me in the comments, do your thing. But I'll catch you guys in the next video, man. Thanks for watching. I'm out. Peace.